Hello friends and welcome to our review for Exam 2. The period of availability for Exam 2 has already been given to you, so pay great attention to that. Don't try to take any exam at the last possible moment. You will be disappointed, and I assure you I will be disappointed as well. Okay, Exam 2 covers 1.15 through 2.20. We end with the legislative process or Congress. So you should prepare for that range of subject matter, and that's everything since exam 1. So you should prepare for that. You'll have about an hour and 15 minutes to take the exam. That's an hour and 15 minutes. That sounds like a lot of time, but when you begin an exam and you begin thinking through it, and you're going to have an essay, when you have all of that, then you really are going to have to pace yourself. And I'm asking you to follow the guidelines of academic integrity. In other words, don't cheat. Do your own work. Don't use the textbook. Use your brain, because we're going to review for this. You all got all this material that's working and available, and you should make use of all that too. Okay? Let's talk about how to prepare. Well, you've got so many things that are there for you already. You've got our lectures. You've got a number of other readings for other sections, the textbook, and you've got the readings in McClellan, and you also have PowerPoints, and you have model student notes. You have so much to help you. Back in the dark, misty recesses of history, when I was taking this course, we might have a textbook. In fact, we had a textbook that was really pretty boring, and for that matter, the professor who's now deceased, God rest his soul, was not the most exciting of faculty members, but he did teach a good class, and I survived it, and so I'm here with you now. So we know the range, what it's going to cover. We know the background material that I just mentioned that's here to help us. And let's talk a little bit about the exam itself. It's going to consist of 33 questions, some multi-guess, some true-false, perhaps some part of some other format. There will be one essay question that you should answer in about 250 to 300 words. And that question will be, how does a bill become a law? Follow the process that we have talked about in the lectures of how bills have to be introduced into both houses. They have to pass both houses. They have to go to the president. All that process in elaborate form. Please write an essay. Do not give me bulleted guides to how it works. Put it together. Synthesize it. Think through it. And of course, that material is available for you to review. Okay. We began looking at all of these topics that are going to be in exam 2. We talked about different kinds of legislatures, different kinds of political system, a parliamentary system where members are elected by votes for the political party, as compared to a single member district legislature like in the United States, where they are voted for in terms of a specific geographical area. And we talked about which one has the easiest manner, easiest way of getting legislation or bills passed. And that's, of course, with a parliamentary system, because both the parliament, its majority, and the prime minister, the executive, are going to be from the same political party. So that is very, very important. We talked about public opinion, different kinds of how it influences the way we vote. We talked about, for example, the longer you stay in college, how's that going to affect you? It's probably going to make you more liberal, more likely to see government as a source of the solution to a country's problems. And we talked about the most liberal group in American higher ed, and that's the professors. We also talked about what young people are likely to agree with when it comes to voting in terms of their parents, and that's usually they will more likely than not join the same political party as their parents, but at the same time They may differ on certain policy issues. We talked about that a lot. We talked about the media, how it is decentralized and local, and talked about who owns the media, talked about how the media influences our ideas. We talked about members of Congress, how they vote. We talked about how difficult it is to get a law passed. If members of Congress work all year on a bill, it may or may not be passed. The vast minority of bills die before they're ever voted on. We talked about the differences between the House and the Senate. These are going to be very important. Remember, the House, you have to be 25 to run. The Senate, you have to be 30. House serves a 2-year term. Senate serves a 6-year term. And every House member is up for election every 2 years. And a third of the Senate is up for election every 6 years. We talked about the Senate as being really the world's most elite club. On the other hand, the House, you can drown in your own obscurity. You need to review those kinds of things, how they work, how they differ. The Senate has the right of advising and consenting. The House does not in terms of presidential appointments. We talked about political parties. You need to review that very closely and see the differences between the two parties, differences between how parties function, and what's the purpose of a party. We also talked about changes in the Constitution during this period of time and voting. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. 13th ends slavery. 14th makes former slave citizens. 15th gives the former slaves, male slaves, new citizens, the right to vote. We also talked about the 26th Amendment, which in the past 18-year-olds did not have the right to vote. It gave 18-year-olds the right to vote. How did that change American politics? We talked about that as well. Not dramatically, although the future, and I certainly always hope that the 18-year-olds that you guys will change the world. That's why I keep teaching American government after all these years. We talked about the American founders and their expectations. They thought parties were bad. They called them factions. They thought Congress would be the first branch, the most important branch of the government. So you need to review the founders' ideas about the Congress and how the House and Senate, when we speak of Congress, how both those houses have changed. For example, the Senate was originally elected by the state legislatures and instead of being directly elected like they are now after the 17th Amendment, how that changes things. So please review those things. And you've got a lot of work to do, but this is a very manageable exam. I'm hoping that you're going to do a wonderful job. And just keep in mind the essay too. The essay is how a bill becomes a law. It is part of the exam, and it will be awaiting you when you take the exam. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of a quick survey, kind of a quick review. If you have specific questions, please feel free to email me. This exam needs to be taken again during the time in which it is available. It will not be available at other times. Also, take your time. You do have an hour and 15 minutes. Try to get away from distractions, people, noise, other kinds of things that might keep you from doing the best job that you can do. And I look forward to reading your essays. I look forward to seeing your exams, and I wish you the very best of luck and know that you're going to do a great job. Take care.